Hello, good afternoon to all of you. I hope all of you are doing well. So, in today's class, we're going to start with the third chapter, that is software project management. So, software project management is an art and a science of planning and steering a software project to success. Now, it's a subdiscipline of project management in which software products are being planned, monitored, and controlled. So, these are the three important activities that are executed, which are planning, monitoring, and control. So, in past, there has been several instances in which software project management has failed to deliver its said objective. It may be because of the following causes. First one, unrealistic or unarticulated project goals. So this may be one of the reasons why software project management may have failed, because if the project goals are unrealistic, that is unachievable or unarticulated or unspecified, then a software project management fails. Second one is inaccurate estimates of the needed resources. So if the project size, the effort, the time, and the cost are inappropriately estimated, then software project management process fails. And likewise, a badly defined system requirements. So if the system requirements are ill-defined, then there might be a situation where software project management process may fail. Now, poor reporting of the project status. So if there is no proper mechanism for monitoring and controlling the progress of the software development process, then a software project management process may fail. Now, unmanaged risks. It may so happen that at some certain situation that you may underestimate the influence of the risk, because of which at the later point in time software project management incurs huge amount of loss. So this may be one of the reasons why a software project management process may fail. Now, poor communication among customer, developer, and the user. So this basically infers to the friction loss that is incurred due to improper communications between the various stakeholders. So this may be one of the reasons why software project management process may fail. Now, then use of immature technology. So instead of relying on advanced fourth generation developmental platform, if we use third generation platform, then definitely the overall software development process, software project management process cost may increase, which may lead to failure. Now, inability to handle the project complexity. So if you are not well equipped to decompose the overall complex into manageable set of complexities, then software project management process may fail. Likewise, sloppy developmental practices. So if you have very sloppy developmental practices which you have adhered to while developing software application, then software development management process may fail. Likewise, poor project management skills, stakeholders politics, and commercial pressure. So these are the few of the important reasons why a software project management process may fail to deliver its set objective. Now let us try to go through some of the software development processes. Now, software development processes primarily exist for supporting the management of software development, and are generally skewed towards the addressing the business concern. Right. So, first one is risk management. Second one is, likewise, we have requirement management, then we have change management, then configuration management, and eventually we have release management. So we'll go through each of the development process in sequence. So risk management. Now, risk management is the process of identifying, measuring, or assessing the risk, and then developing strategies to manage the risk. So risks are anticipated events that may lead to failure. So risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, or assessing the risk, and then developing strategies to manage the risks. In general, the strategies employed includes transferring the risk to a third party. So whenever you cannot manage a risk by your own self, then what you can do is you can transfer the risk to the third party. Avoid that particular risk. So if the risk is a very low priority, then what you can do is you can avoid the risk. Then we can self try to reduce the negative effect of the risk, and then accept or some or all the consequence of the risk. So these are the activities that you can perform whenever you're trying to contain the influence of the risk. Okay, so you can transfer it to a third party, you can avoid the risk, you can reduce the negative effect of the risk, and then you can accept some or all the consequence of the risk. Now, a subset of risk management that is gaining popularity is called as opportunity management, where opportunity management tries to look into the positive aspect of risk rather than on the negative aspect, right? Now, requirement management. Now, requirement management is the process of, just listen to me carefully, it's the process of identifying all the potential requirements, electing electing the appropriate requirements, documenting, analyzing, tracking, prioritizing, and agreeing on the requirement, and then controlling change and communicating it to the relevant stakeholder. Now, just see, there are a host of activities that you perform in requirement management. The activities are identifying the potential requirements. From the potential requirement set, you identify the actual requirements. Once you identify the actual requirements, you try to document the requirements. Once you document the requirements, in order to get the requirements right, you try to analyze the requirement. So whenever requirement analysis is done, problems associated with requirements are eradicated, like anomalies, ambiguities, and omissions. And then you prioritize, to establish a tracking mechanism, and then you prioritize the requirements, and then agree on the requirements, agreement between the customer and the developer, and then control changes and communication to the relevant stakeholders. So these are the set of activities that are performed whenever you try to manage requirements. Now, likewise, after that, you have change management. Now, change management is the process of identifying, documenting, analyzing, prioritizing, and agreeing on the change of the scope of the software system, and then controlling changes and communicating it to the relevant stakeholder, right? Again, so again, here what you need to do is, whenever you want to bring about a change, so you need to identify the change, you need to document the change, you need to analyze the change, you need to prioritize the change, you need to agree on the change, right? Change to the scope of the system, right? And then communicate to the relevant stakeholders. Likewise, software configuration management. Now, software configuration management is the process of identifying and documenting the scope itself, which is the software project, the product underway, including all sub-products and changes, and enabling communication of these to the relevant stakeholders. So configuration basically refers to any aspect of interest pertaining to a system is called as configuration, or any object of interest pertaining to a system is called as configuration. Now, and the management of the same is called as configuration management. Now, release management. Now, release management is the process of identifying, documenting, prioritizing, and agreeing on the release of the software system, and then controlling the release schedule and communication to these relevant stakeholders. So it is the process of identifying, documenting, prioritizing, and agreeing on the release of the software, and then controlling the release schedule and communication to the relevant stakeholders. So most often, software product is being released in different environments. For an example, development environment, test environment, and production environment. So these are the 5 important development process that you need to understand whenever you are discussing software project management. Now let us discuss few of the responsibilities of software project manager. Now, software project manager is solely responsible for steering the software project to success. That is, it is the responsibility of the software project manager to successfully complete a software project. Now, it is very difficult to describe the job responsibilities of a software project manager, but it ranges from a set of visible set of activities to a set of invisible activities, right? So, an example, project proposal writing is a visible activity that a project manager performs, whereas boosting of morale of the development team whenever the development process is underway is an invisible activity. So, the activities that are being performed by a software project manager varies from a set of visible activities to a set of invisible activities. Now, let us go through some of the notable activities that a software project manager performs. First activity is project proposal writing, then project cost estimation, then scheduling and project staffing, then software process tailoring, then project monitoring and control, software configuration management, risk management, interfacing with client, managerial report writing, and presentation. Now, there are several set of other activities that a project manager performs, but these are some of the notable activities that software project manager performs, right? Now, let us try to look forward into skills that are necessary for software project manager, for software project management, or effective software project manager, or skills that a software project manager should have in order to efficiently manage the software project management process, right? So the first and important skill that is required is a good theoretical knowledge about different project management techniques is certainly necessary to become a successful project manager. So, a software project manager should have a good theoretical knowledge about the various project management techniques. However, effective software project management frequently calls for good quality decision, good quality judgment, and decision making capabilities. So, a very effective manager should be capable of making quality decision and should be capable of making good quality judgment at the need of the hour, right? Now, in addition to having a good grasp of the latest software development or software project management techniques, such as cost estimation, risk management, configuration management, project management, one has to have a very good communication skill and the ability to get the work done. So, this is very much important. Okay, so one has to have a very good grip on the various software project management tools, as well as has to have a very good communication and the ability to get the work done. Now, some of these are acquired through skills and some of these are acquired through leadership abilities. So these are some of the important characteristics or important aspects that a good software project manager should have, right? Now, let us move on to project planning, project monitoring, and project control. Now, what is the purpose of project planning? The very purpose of the project planning is to identify what is the scope of the project. That means to what extent the project goes through to provide solution to the problem. Estimate the work involved. So, what is the extent of work that's required, and to create a project schedule. This is very much important. Okay. Now, as again, I'll repeat it. So, the purpose of project planning is to identify the scope of the project, to what extent the project goes to provide solution to the problem, estimate the volume of work required, and create a project schedule. Now, activities that are performed during software project planning are: first activity that is there is estimation of the basic attributes of the project, right? Okay, estimation of the basic attributes of the project. So there are four basic attributes: project size, project effort, project cost, project time, and project cost. So this is very much important. So estimation of the basic attributes of the project, that is project size. Depending upon project size, you have effort being estimated. Depending upon effort, time is estimated, and depending upon time, cost is estimated, right? So here, the independent parameter is project size, and dependent parameters are effort, time, and cost. Now, second important aspect is scheduling manpower and resources. Then staff organization and staffing plan, risk identification, analysis and abatement plans, quality assurance plans, and configuration management plans. So these are the important activities that are performed whenever planning is done. So again, I'll repeat it: estimation of basic attributes, where you have project size, effort, time and cost, where project size is the independent parameter and effort, time and cost are dependent parameter, and then scheduling manpower and resources, then staff organization and staffing plan, then you have risk identification, analysis and abatement plans, then you have quality assurance plans, and followed by configuration management plans. Now, the very purpose of project monitoring and control is to keep the team and management up to date about the progress of the software project. This is very much important. This is the reason why we require a very able monitoring and controlling process. The only objective of monitoring and controlling process is to keep track of the progress of the software development process, and to keep the team updated about to what extent the work has been done, right? So if the project deviates from the plan, then the project manager can take action to correct the problem. Project monitoring and control involves status meeting to gather status from the team. When changes needs to be made, change control is used in order to keep the product up to date. So this is the objective, the primary objective of monitoring and control, to keep the team updated about the progress that has been made, and if there is any abnormal development that is taking place or abnormal deviation that is taking place in the development process, then what are the corrective measures that can be initiated in order to solve the problem. Okay, so this basically tries to explain what is software project planning, monitoring, and control. Now, once the software project management plan, once the software planning, monitoring, and control has been properly addressed upon, so what we do is we create a document that is called a software project management plan document. Now, software project management plan document basically tries to highlight the various aspects that are taken into consideration whenever that was taken into consideration whenever the planning was done and monitoring and controlling mechanisms were formulated, right? So once project planning is complete, project manager documents their plan in a software project management plan document that is called as SPMP document. The SPMP document should discuss a list of different items that has been discussed below. The list can be used as a possible organization of SPMP document. So first what we need to have is we need to have an introduction. In the introduction we need to have the objectives, then followed by major functionalities, then performance issues, and then managerial and technical constraints. So in the introduction part, we need to identify what are the objectives, what are the major functionalities, what are the performance issues that are there taken into consideration, and what are the management and technical constraints that were taken into consideration for defining the objectives and the functionalities. Now, the second important aspect that you need to focus on whenever you're preparing SPMP document is the project estimates. So, what are the historical data used? What are the estimation techniques used? What is the effort, the estimate of effort, resource, cost, and project duration? Project duration. So here, what we'll try to do is in project estimates, we'll try to highlight what were the historical bases that we used, what were the estimation techniques that we used, and what was the estimates of the effort, resource, cost, and duration. Now, likewise, the third important aspect is the schedule. Now, schedule focuses on work breakdown structure, a task network representation, Gantt chart representation, and PERT chart representation. So these are the various mechanisms for reflecting the way how the planning was done. So work breakdown structure tries to decompose the overall work into set of identifiable subcomplexities. Task network representation tries to arrange the various activities that were formed after decomposition into an activity network. Then Gantt chart it represents the schedule, and PERT chart tries to associate the estimate the appropriate estimate for executing a particular task, take into consideration the worst, the pessimistic case, the optimistic case, and the likely case, right? And then what we have is we have project resources. So it also needs to emphasize on what are the project resources that are there. For example, people, hardware and software, and special resources. So any resources that you do not have, for which you need to pay money, is called a special resource. So, for example, if you have to borrow a technical person for developing an application, so that is special resource, right? So anything that you do not have for which you need to pay for is called as categorized into special resource. Then you have staff organization that which includes team structure, managerial reporting scheme, right? Then sixth aspect is risk management, where you have identification, risk analysis, and risk estimation, risk abatement procedures. Seventh one, project tracking and control plan. Eighth involves miscellaneous plans like process tailoring, quality assurance, configuration management, verification and validation, system testing plan, delivery, installation, and maintenance plans. So these are the important aspects that a SPMP document or software project management plan document should emphasize on. So in today's class, what we have learned about is we have learned about what is I'll just we'll just go through in brief. So what is software project management? We have been through what are the reasons why software project management process may fail. We've been through software development processes. We've been through risk management, then we've been through requirement management, then change management, then configuration management, and then eventually release management. We also try to identify what are the responsibilities of a software project manager. We also try to identify what are the skills that are required for becoming a very sound software project manager. And then we discussed the objectives of project planning, project monitoring, and project control. and then we try to identify the activities that are performed whenever planning is done, likewise monitoring and control is done, and then eventually we discuss the organization of software project management plan document with its constituent ingredients. So in the next class, what we're going to do is we're going to um, move on with the various matrices for estimating the project size. So thank you very much.